I have had this thought forever, ever since I started working here, and I don't think I've ever shared it. So just like yesterday, I'm walking across the street, grabbing a drink. It's crispy early mornings. If you ask me, it's cold as fuck, but I'm walking out here, and I love this part of it. You can see the horizon line on the mountains. I think the sun has risen, but because the mountains are so goddamn big here, you can't see it. If you're a new listener, I'm in Utah, northern Utah, so that's what I'm seeing. And it's just a bunch of big warehouses, and there's a whole lot of fucking guys. There's a lot of warehouses, there's a lot of big old trucks coming and going, a lot of loading docks, right? And I've always envisioned this, like when I would do visualization, when I would do that, I would see just me owning this big warehouse, like where I'm shipping out all my supplements or shipping out all my products or whatever, and then early morning, we've got trucks coming and going, people coming into work, and me having a nice car or something like that to the side. That's something I always have visualized, and it's cool because I get to see this part of it. Obviously, there's no cool car, I don't own anything, but that's cool shit. One day it'll be a reality for me. One day, man. But never shared this thought on the show, so there's that. But I'll be back later. Yo, I'm at home now, so the audio quality, I'm sure, is a shit ton better. So yeah, this morning I think about that all the time. Every time I go outside and it's a crisp early morning like that, that's the first thing I think of. I think of one day I'm gonna own that building and I'm gonna own that whatever. And these people are going to be delivering my product so that I can ship my shit out to people who want to be better or whatever. That's what I think of always. And it's cool to be out there. So that's what that was about. So here's a little update. So today, or I guess over the last week or so, I've been re-engaging with past mentors that I've once been a part of their mastermind in the past. So that twice, great. And one of the guys, his name's Brian Mark. He was running his whole mastermind back then, and that's the first mastermind that I joined. And I learned a lot, but my attitude was shit. I didn't have the balls to do a lot of what was asked of me. For example, he wanted me to go live on Instagram multiple times a week, and I said no, absolutely hell to the fuck no, not. But now I'm sure I could just flip it on right now and I just don't really give a fuck about stuff like that. So there's that part. And then the other part was, well, there's lots of parts, but one of the things was like, hey, you gotta be posting content, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I'm right now, there was last week, I made 14 posts. That's the most I've ever made in 1 week ever in my entire life. So that's not a problem. So it's my priorities as far as the business and content creation and marketing and all that stuff, I think are much more in line. Not my priorities, my ability to, I guess, my focus on what needs to get done or what is the most important. Not that I'm actively doing these things, so I wouldn't say it's a priority, but the most important things that need to get done, I'm aware of and accept the fact that they're going to be tough. And so that makes it easier. So anyway, I was re-engaging with his content. He sent me a message because that's how he gets the people into his program, which is exactly what I would need to do, which is fine. But it's cool because back then he was charging $300 a month. And at the time, I think maybe there was 50 people in his program of, 100 or 200 that had made it over $10,000 a month in their coaching business. And I thought that was incredible. And it is, because that would be a huge goal. Even $5,000 a month for me at this point in time would be absolutely game-changing, life-changing for me. But now, 3 years later, he's got thousands of people over the 10K per month mark and probably hundreds over the 20, 50, I don't say 20, 30, 40, 50K mark per month. And he's even got people in the six-figure range per month. And I can't even wrap my mind around making six figures in 1 month. Right now, it would take me 20 months to do that. 21 months to do that. That's insane to me. If I made, dude, if I made six figures this month. I don't know. It's crazy to me. So anyway, I was re-engaging with him, sent me a message, talking about the program. Scheduled a call, but on the form that you fill out, it asks you if you are ready to financially invest. I clicked no because I'm not. So he sent me a message and he's like, hey man, so it looks like on the form you checked off this box. Can you care to elaborate a little bit more on that so I know how we can best help? And I said, yeah, so here's the thing. I quit 2 of my 3 jobs. I'm now negative $500 a month, but I believe in myself to make this happen. So I've got I freed up a shit ton more time for myself. He says, totally get there, man. I've been there. And it was pretty cool because he sent me a photo of him where he grew up in this trailer park where he was addicted to drugs and shit. So it's cool to be talking to somebody who's of such a high caliber, you know? He's like, totally get it, man. I've been there. And I can't remember what else he said. But long story short, not joining the program right now. However, that's what I'm going to talk about in the show. So anyway, it's 7:05 p.m., October 2nd, Wednesday, 2024. So going back and forth with him a little bit, he sent me a couple videos to watch, introduced me to the new program, who's involved, you know, who's doing what. And so I'm going to say a lot of vulnerable shit in this episode. So it might make the notable episodes. It might make the diamond. I don't know. It depends on what I say, but it's funny because let's see, how do I want to say this? I have a lot of belief in myself. I have a lot of faith in my abilities. I have a lot of confidence with all the confidence that I have now has been built from proving to myself over the last year that I can do hard shit, I'm capable, that I'm stronger than my excuses, etc. So the strength and the confidence that I have now is recently developed over the last year. This month, last year, I didn't have a podcast. You know, so thinking about it that way, you know, I was coming up on finishing 75 hard. I was, let's see, I was at 12. So I was on day 65 1 year ago today. Isn't that wild to think about? So I made a lot of progress in the last 1 year. So where was I going with all this? So, so back then I had quite the ego. I thought I had it all figured out. I mean, I still got an ego, man. I probably always will because it's just what's going on. You know, I always think I'm better than the next guy as far as certain processes and shit. And just, I think of things in such detail and analyze everything so deeply that I can't even explain how I come up with some of the answers that I do. And I was talking about this, I think it was yesterday, I briefly mentioned that some of the shit that goes on in my head, I have no idea how to say that out loud. And it's not like I don't know the words. It's just like I don't even know how to explain like the deductive reasoning paired with the pattern recognition of shit to then find the answer of something that I don't even, what the fuck am I even saying? But I see that and it goes in my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense to me, of course. I think I actually said that one time. Somebody was giving me some information. I said, oh yeah, because this and that. Oh, and something with the ranges are different. So the temperature of the day is this color, but if it's not, then it wouldn't be. So, oh yeah, perfect. Makes sense to me. And they were making fun of me like, oh, it makes sense to you. So that's how it is, huh? And I'm like, just fucking, I don't know, bro. I sound like a cocky asshole every time I talk about stuff like this, but whatever. So anyway, back then had quite the ego. Thought I had it all figured out. Didn't want to do anything that the coach told me, Brian. I had a lot of arrogance thinking that I could figure it out. It's so, dude, in hindsight, what a dumbass. What a dumb motherfucker I was. I joined the program, spent all this money, and then thought, these guys are all making this kind of money and changing these many people's lives consistently, weekly, monthly basis. And here I am joining the program thinking, oh, I don't need their help. I can do it myself. But then I paid them. What a dumbass, dude. Oh, man, you live and learn. But back then, I had a lot of... My life back then was crazy, man. I was crazy in the context of my life for what I've done. I was living with my girlfriend's parents. My girlfriend did not, at the time, live there. She lived in her own apartment. So I lived with my girlfriend's parents, because I wanted to move out of my own place. And I was trying to make this happen. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out my other job because I got hired, but then what happened? I can't remember exact details. I got hired at Smith's for about a week, and then they had to let me go because at Smith's, 3 or 4 years prior to this thing happening, I sold tobacco to a minor on pure accident, was not intentful, and it went on my record. So when I applied for Smith's again, they asked me if I ever sold tobacco to a minor. I said, I think I marked no, because I was like, oh, if I click yes, they're not going to hire me. But then if they find out, I can explain, like, yeah, I did it while I was working for your goddamn company. So they hired me. It was good. 10 days go by. They say, hey, we got to let you go because you sold tobacco to a minor. And I said, yeah, I did that here. Then later I quit. Why didn't you fire me then? And there was no answer. And that's, dude, I could talk about this shit forever, but just some flawed fucking logic, you know? Horrible. I worked for the company that I made a goof for. They let me stay for another year. After that, I quit. 2 or 3 years later, I come back. I say, hey, I want the job. They hired me, max pay. Everything was great. Cool. And then they said, oh, actually, you goofed up in the past. You sold tobacco to a minor. And I said, yeah, but I did that here, and then proceeded to keep my job for a year afterward. You suspended me for 3 days, but I continued to work here. So why didn't you fire me? Again, no answer. So whatever. Interesting how places work, dude. Some guy behind a computer is like, oh, that's actually policy because actually on this, and then so actually, dude, fucking hate that shit. So way off track here. So in the past, during the program, saw results, learned a lot, but again, ego got in the way, and then I tried to bitch out because I was like, oh no, I can't do this, I can't afford this, I'm not making money, I'm not doing anything. Yeah, no shit, I'm not making money, I'm not putting any effort in, I'm not trying to grow in. Oh, no, that's what I was talking about. So at the time, I was living with my girlfriend's parents' house, at my girlfriend's parents' house, and I quit my job at EOS, and then what was I doing? Yeah, that's when this happened. Yeah. And at EOS Fitness, so I sold gym memberships, but again, I wasn't in the right mental headspace, because the reason why I quit EOS was because I felt it was too salesy and too gimmicky and too whatever. And my boss, not my manager. My manager there was one of the, if not the greatest managers I've ever had in my entire life. Doesn't listen to the show. I can almost guarantee it. Hope I'm wrong. His name's Colin Davino. So if anybody who's listening right now knows who that is, have him listen to this episode, because that man, incredible leader, incredible manager, just incredible person. Love that guy. I miss him a lot. So anyway, again, didn't have the right mentality as far as sales and communication and people. I just was in there I just wanted to make money. I didn't care about anything else. Little did I know, or little did I realize, that if I would have taken that serious, I'd probably be at the $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month range now. And goddamn, that sucks to think about. So whatever, can't do anything about it now. So just keep going. So I was living there, and then I quit EOS while I was living there. I feel like that's wrong. I feel like I was living at my mom's house, quit EOS, a couple months go by, then I moved out. I think that's what I did. Because at the time, her dad was really into business, had a successful company. He was giving me pointers. So anyway, that's how it was going down. So I didn't do anything. I just went home, and because I was insecure, I would just go to my room and I would sit there, and I wouldn't do anything until my girlfriend at the time came over. This is 3 years ago. And that was that. But then when she would come over, I'd get annoyed because I'm like, you don't have to see me. You can just come over. But then I was like, how do you come over to your mom's house? And then, I don't know. I just was not a happy guy. I was trying to figure shit out, and I was in it for the wrong reasons in so many different areas. So whatever. Again, you live and learn. But going back to the coaching thing, no shit, I wasn't making money. I wasn't putting in any of the effort. I wasn't doing hardly any of the things they were teaching. I was doing some of the things. That's how I made like $6,000, right? In the span of 2 years, year and a half, 18 months. So I learned a lot, and I made my first month in the program. I made $800, And I was like, okay, so this shit's pretty real. And then after that, I got lazy. I was like, yeah, I made $100. I'll probably make like $2,000 next month, whatever. That's really what I thought. What a dummy, dude, you know? So fast forward a little bit. I remember being in the Denver airport. We were going to Disney World, and I was sending this guy messages. I sent him 19 voice messages, all 1 minute long, explaining a made-up situation of how I can't afford to pay for the program and I need to drop out. And that is one of the most pussiest things, looking back now, I can't believe I did that. That's so unlike me now. That's so pussy. That's so weak. I just can't believe I did that. Now I can't believe I did that. Back then, that's just my behavior. And you can see right then and there, that's probably why it didn't work out. So I sent him 19 1 minute long voice memos at the airport, walking around. We had a layover. Just doing my laps at the Denver airport. If you know, you know. And I sent him all the... Okay. Sent him all those things. He didn't respond. And he said, hey, man, you think I'm going to listen to all these? You're blah, blah, blah. You're doing this, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what I said. But, yeah, and then I sent an email and I said, hey, so I have to do this and this and this. I can't afford because this is happening. I got to pay for this for my mom. I got to do this for my little brother. All of which was a lie. And they responded and they said, sorry, we don't do... I can't remember what they said. And then I responded one more time and I said, really, please let me out of this program, whatever. And then they said, there was no empathy, there was no sympathy, there was just, you've been taken out of the program, all further payments are now discontinued, whatever. And that was it. And the relief that I felt then was so crazy because I thought that I made the right call. It's funny because the program was $300 a month, dude. $300 a month for something like that is cheap as fuck. Now it's $500 a month. I believe it's $600, but what I was offered yesterday was $500. It's pretty cool. There's a nice guarantee, so I'm going to talk about that. There's a guarantee. It says if you don't make $10,000 in your first 6 months, then they'll refund every bit of money that I've put into the program. So that's a nice guarantee. That's a very risk-averse guarantee, which is pretty cool. But guarantee aside, I've been I want to say in the market. That sounds so weird. But I've been actively looking at these masterminds again because I learned so much. And you know how many times on the show that I don't want to say complain, but explain the observation of how I have nobody around me in real life that's like-minded. I know some people on the internet and I talk with them. That's pretty cool. But as far as looking at somebody in the eyes and knowing that they have a business as well and that they're doing marketing, sales, branding, whatever, making systems, trying to figure out payments, processing, they got whatever going on, that doesn't exist for me right now. I have nobody in my life that I can call up, drive to Starbucks, whip out our laptops. I didn't say dicks there because I could have, but whip out our dicks, our laptops, and then look at each other's dicks, just playing. Wow, this is a super gay podcast, huh? Look at each other's screens and figure out how we can help each other improve our business. I don't have that. And I don't feel like a lot of people do, and it's not an excuse. What I'm trying to get at is I don't have that I don't know people like that. So if I can, dude, if I can pay money to be in an environment where I'm surrounded by people like that, even if it is virtual for now, I think that would do me good mentally. I think that would do me good financially. I think that would do me good, career-wise. What's the word for that ends in ly? What's the adverb for career or entrepreneurial? Entrepreneurially? Whatever the adverb is for career. I don't even know how to ask that. Okay, we're going to document this. So Breed Lions mentioned me in the story. Let's see. All right, what the hell is this? Okay, so Breed Lions, what is your profession? That's pretty cool, dude. It's the old, I think it's 300. Tagged me and 5 other people. That's pretty fucking cool, dude. So we got that little live documentation from Breed Lions. So pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. Breed Lions. It's simple. No bullshit, no excuses. Join the Breed Lions Brotherhood. Unapologetic patriotism, unwavering work ethic, zero tolerance for weakness, relentless pursuit for greatness, unapologetic, can't say that word, masculinity. Tag someone you know who is a lion. Shit, bro, I'm tagging myself. Okay, anyway. Oh, shit, what did I just... God damn it, bro. Cool. God damn. Okay, yeah, getting way distracted on this one. What was I talking about? Yeah, so if I can surround myself with like-minded people and get around people who are killing it and learn from them and have access to all these people, I think that would be extremely, extremely, extremely beneficial for me, even if it costs $500 a month. And that's fucking cheap, dude. That's crazy to say, but $500 a month for what this is, that's very cheap, because other groups are thousands. They're 5 figures total, and there's no payment plan. It's just like, hey, you want to be part of this? I'm going to show your commitment. 10 grand down right now. It's like, okay, I'm not ready, you know? So, anyway, if I don't make 10 grand in 6 months, I get my money back. That's pretty crazy, because that's about 1833. Is that what it is? 1888? Yeah. Siri, what is 10,000 divided by 6?
10,000 divided by 6 is approximately 1,666.6666.
Satan just joined the podcast, dude. So I was pretty close. So 1666.66666. Yeah, so if I don't make that per month, then I get my money back. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at with all this is I'm looking at joining one of these again. This one, I think now that the mentality is much more there, the attitude, the work ethic, the belief in myself, the commitment to everything that I'm doing now, I think this would be a great decision for me. However, the part of me is like, shit, dude, this is going to be my 4th attempt at this shit. What makes it different now? But for the reasons that I just described, this is totally different. And, you know, as you get older, you get wiser, you learn more, everything becomes perfectly clear in hindsight. And, you know, if you join a program that doesn't work, it might have been the program, might have been coach, whatever. Join another program, it doesn't work. That sucks. You got 2 for 2, that blows. You join a third program, it doesn't work. But in each of these programs, people have seen monstrous success. It's not the programs. It's, well, again, it's 90%, 99% not the programs. It's 99% not the coaches. It's 99% not the students or the members or whatever. It's you. And I can say that confidently, that I'm the problem here. I'm the common denominator between 3 of these. None of them worked because I didn't work. I had the wrong attitude. I've said this 20 times in the show. But the wrong attitude, wrong mindset, didn't have work ethic, didn't have belief in myself, wasn't practicing what I was preaching, and I was just a big pile of shit, big lazy pile of shit. So no wonder why it didn't work. And I would not consider myself any of those things anymore. Matter of fact, I do think I need to focus harder on the things that I'm working on and not be so distracted all the time. And I think I need to take work outside of my 9 to 5 more serious and focus harder. Not that I'm not working hard. I think I am working hard. I do think that. But I think that I could be working more because of the distractions that I allow in. So I come home from work and I kind of just use my phone and play some stupid iPhone games. And then I'll just sit at my bar and eat, which is fine. I feel like that's appropriate. And then I'll come upstairs, I'll sit on my desk, and I look at YouTube for a sec, and then I'll look at just some random shit, bro. Just looking at my finances, and I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I made this document. It looks pretty good. Let's bold this. Actually, that needs to be underlined. Let's make this color red. Just shit that doesn't matter, dude. And I just get distracted. And if I were to take that more serious and limit the distractions and use some of the tools that I have, I got Brick. Shout out to Brick. You just tap your phone on it, locks your phone. Can't use it unless you tap it again. So what I need to do is when I get home from work, I should put the Brick downstairs. So I scan it with my phone and then my phone locks. And then I go all the way upstairs. And if I ever want to use my phone, I'm going to have to go all the way back downstairs and get it. And it doesn't lock everything. I choose the apps the notifications, the people, the whatever. Who can call me, who can text me, what apps are allowed, what apps are not allowed, what websites are allowed, what websites are not allowed. Things like that. And yeah, the reason why I have that is because it's so easy to grab your phone and then just start scrolling or just get super distracted. And I'll be the first to say that, yeah, that shit's fucking hard to break away from. So I bought a little tool. It's called Brick. I bought it a few months ago. It's been an awesome tool. But anyway, I do think I work hard. I don't know, man. I don't feel that in my chest when I say that now. So I'll have to reevaluate what the fuck I'm doing here. But yeah, so where can I go from here? So I was talking with Brian. He's the mastermind coach. And I'm talking to him now, actually. We're going back and forth. And I'm just trying to gain some clarity. Nice. So I'm just trying to gain some clarity on the program now. So I sent him a message that said, hey, is there anything in your program that helps with people like myself who have an extremely small power base? I have 32 followers and about 50 contacts on my phone, mostly family. And I've got Facebook, but I don't know about that. My concern is getting my first X amount of clients from methods you suggest, but I don't have a big pool of people like others have. Does this make sense? He said, dude, we have helped clients to go from 0 to thousands of followers. That's where you got to learn how to market yourself. I said, I believe you. I'm wondering about how the first part works. I'd have about 30 to 40 warm reach outs. But after that, it would be cold DMs, which you said not to do in the video yesterday. Which, even if he said that, everything that I've seen otherwise has suggested that I should do that. If not for the result, but for the outcome from me putting in the work of doing so, because I learned so much. I was just curious what to do instead there. He says, that's something we will focus on in the full program, G. I said, hey again. So that was yesterday. And then today I said, hey again, are there mandatory calls I must attend to qualify for that $10,000 guarantee? He said, yes. We lay out some work for you to follow and qualify for the $10,000 guarantee. I said, okay, awesome. Due to my work schedule being about 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., because I just wake up and then by the time I get home from the gym, would I be clear to attend everything? He said, the live videos are Monday and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can't make the lives, they are recorded and in the group to watch later. Does that make sense? I said, sweet. Yeah, totally. I'm just making sure I even qualify for the guarantee to begin with. He said, yep, 100% you do. And again, this show's about documentation. I don't think that it was necessary to share everything, but me in the future would want to hear about what me now would want to hear about what Alex Hormozy and Andy Frisella and whatever they were talking about to who. That shit's so interesting to me. So, also for some context, because I like to share that shit, I'm sitting in a very dark room. My window's open. I can see the mountains and the trees and its outline. It's just dark. 7:30 right now. I guess it's not that dark, but in my room it's very dark. So I'm just sitting here looking out the window. Got my laptop light on my face. I'm just hanging out here in my room, talking with the microphone. Empty gallon jug here, plate of food here. That's now gone. In my pajamas, so just painting a picture here. Anyway, I'm trying to not make this so long, but whatever. So, yeah, I'm just weighing I don't know, man. I think I'm just procrastinating at this point. I know I need to join one of these and get around these kind of people again. And even, that's what I was going to say. That's the whole reason why I said it was going to be vulnerable. So, yeah, I had the whole ego and shit. And now I'm going to scroll up and read the conversation. I caught myself wanting to lie to make myself seem a certain way in this conversation. Check this out. So, that's a lot to say here. So I followed him. He said, yo, Bryson, thanks for the follow. Do you currently have an online fitness business or are you just enjoying the content? He said, in the works of creating all my... First of all, he doesn't know I've been in the program before. Well, I guess maybe not because, it's a whole different account. My old account had 32,000 followers, so a little bit different, but either way. So we're talking about, are you from Canada? I'm from Utah. Oh, cool. So this blah, blah. Nice. So what do you want to do this? Cool. We got you in fitness. Nice. Okay. So what are you trying to do? So he said, So he said, awesome, brother. Social media is key to grow your biz. Mind if I ask you a couple questions, see if I can help? I said, sure. He says, all right. So what would you say is your biggest struggle with growing your online business? I said, probably that I don't even have one yet. And he says, haha, touche. I see in your bio you're looking to start with 3 guys in November. Why November and not now? And immediately my guard went up and I was like, this motherfucker, why is he trying to pressure me? And it's like, dude, no. That's how I've been reacting. That's how I've been responding to these types of things. How about let that shit down and just maybe take it for what it is? Why November and not now? Like, for real, ask myself that question. So I started typing out, fuck. I started typing out something like, I don't have my programs in place. I work 3 jobs, so I can't. And I only have whatever. And I'm like, no. That's a fucking lie. Don't do this shit again. Like, this is you in the past. Don't do this. I'm just like my internal monologue. And I said, I'm building, and this is true. So I'm building up my systems and programming with the internal course and such, because that's what I'm working on right now. And I imagine November I'll have everything finalized. I love this stuff, so I'm not in any real rush to open the doors. And dude, I don't know. That last sentence, I don't feel like it's truth. I feel like it's half truth. I really am not in a rush to open the doors because the offer is everything, and I'd like it to be as good of an offer as I can get it to be. But also, the more I prolong the opening of the doors of this business, the longer I prolong everything else in my life that's to follow. And that's a shitty thought to have. And then he said this. He said, success like speed, bro. And my first thought was like, yeah, but dude, I can't afford it right now because I do this and this, and I have this job, and it has blah, blah, blah. So, like, no, I can't afford it. So what do you want me to do? That's some weak shit. That was me in the past. That's how I thought. And he's absolutely right. Success. I'm talking with a guy that clears fucking 8 figures a month doing what he does. And he's telling me this. He has nothing to dude. It's like, why don't I fucking listen, dude? You know, success like speed. And he said, so you mean you're still working on building a program to offer your clientele? And I said, hey man, like Hormozy says, right? The offer is everything. Front load the work to get the thing done so that way the focus thereafter becomes sales, client retention, results, etc. Success like speed. I like that. And I said, yeah, the entirety of the program is. He says, haha, you just need the right tools and strategies to get started, brother. Tell me what's your monthly income right now and what would you like it to be in online coaching? So we discussed that. So I said, yeah, I make about $5,000 a month at my job. My big goal right now is probably like 10,000. The more I see others doing it, the more I see 20K, 50K, even 6 figures a month, but I never see more than 3,500 in my bank account ever in my life. So to get that in 10 days would be an awesome milestone. So he sent me some screenshots of this guy. His name's Nicholas. He just cleared 15 month in business. The previous month was 10,000. I was like, holy fuck. And it says, these are the type of results you can expect if you're coachable. And it's just the beginning. And then he's just asking me questions. Just doing some sales questions, right? It's fine. So he says, you know what, why don't we do this? Let's hop on a quick 15, 20-minute call. We'll go over your number one struggle in your online fitness business, your main goal, come up with a game plan to help you get there. You up for that? I said, yeah, I'd be down for a game plan. So he sends me his link. I booked the link. I get set up. I said, so he says, go ahead and book it now. Spots usually fill up. I said, I'm a grandpa. I'm off to bed now, but tomorrow I'll look at my calendar and see what I can squeeze in. See the evenings are mostly open, which works best for me. So he sends me a message the next day. Says, yo, Bryson, all set. And then 8 hours later, I say done because I was at work. So anyway, fast forward. And I share the thing about the I'm not ready to invest. So he says, elaborate on that. Comes back. Going back and forth. Sends me a video. Says 10K in 6 months or your money back guarantee. Finances aside, yeah. So we're just going back and forth. And that leads us to now. And I share all that because that's the DM conversation I had with a potential mentor that I would join up with so that I can learn what he knows as well as the thousands of people. And I wouldn't say 1,000. I don't know how many people. 100? It's probably 1,000 for sure in his program. So if I can be surrounded by 1,000 people doing what I'm doing, making 10 grand a month, super successful, have all the systems in place, they know the tricks, they know the whatever, why wouldn't I do that? For $500 a month, dude? And I get all my money back if I don't make 10 grand? 10 grand in 6 months is pretty damn cool right now. I mean, obviously I'd like to make that in 3 minutes, but for now, that's pretty cool. So, but that was the part that I was talking about being vulnerable because I felt my guard shoot the fuck up when he was asking me those questions. But the truth is, man, maybe that's why I'm where I am right now, because my guard gets shot up when people start questioning what I'm doing. But this guy is much more successful. He's wildly up there in terms of entrepreneurship and achievements and whatever. And I like his stuff. I mean, he's got a good attitude. He shares a shit ton of value. He's got it figured out. And I think about things like this a lot. How much would I pay to listen to, if I could pay to have Andy Frisella or Joe Rogan or David Goggins or whoever, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, if I could pay to have them come to my house and they come with, I don't know, they come with their podcast host or whatever, and I get to sit here and listen to them speak about, so like if somebody's asking a question to Brian, it's like, hey man, if you had to start over and you had to do this, how would you make $10 million? You have an hour, outline a plan. How much would I pay to sit to listen to that and take notes? I don't know how much I would pay, but I know it wouldn't be cheap. And then I think, oh, that's exactly what podcasts are. And it's free. So why don't I treat it the same way? Just because they're not face to face? So we just take the shit for granted, dude. I mean, I'll speak for myself here. We have access to millions of dollars worth of knowledge and expertise and everything across social media platforms, podcasts, the internet. And we just binge listen because it's entertaining or because it makes us feel good. There's people telling you how to make $10 million a year for free. They get nothing from telling you this. They just do it because they want to help. Like Alex Hormozi's one of them. And we just listen because it's fun. If Andy Frisella was sitting right across from me and he said, here's a game plan, get your pen and paper out, here you go. This is how you're going to make 8 figures in the next 5 years. And this is what it's going to take, whatever. Sign here, not sign here. If that's what he did, if I had to associate a price tag with that interaction, I don't know how much that would cost. I feel like anything below 50 grand would be a complete insult. Shit, even 100 grand. Like, for real, listener, whoever you are, to have Kobe Bryant come and sit right in front of you and tell you how to get good at basketball or business or whatever your thing is. It doesn't even have to be Kobe Bryant. It could be anybody. How much do you think, how much value would you place on that? It's probably a lot. But that's what podcasts are. That's what YouTube is. And yeah, they're not in person. And yeah, it's different. I get that. But the information and the words and the context and the intent and all the words, they're there. All the sounds, they're there for free. Just got to watch a 20-second ad on ramen noodles and it's all yours. So I think about that a lot. And this guy, Brian, talking to him in the DMs. And he's telling me success loves speed, man. You just got to have the right tools. You'll get it figured out. This guy made 15 grand and it's only the beginning. Also, if you don't make 10 grand in your first 6 months, it's on us. It's a good offer, man. He follows Alex Hormozi too. So the kind of proof right there that shit works, huh? Pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, I just felt my guard go up, felt myself trying to be a poser and be like, oh, well, I got this going on and I yada yada and this and that. And it's so hard for me because yada yada. And I was like, no. Stop that shit. And I got mad at myself, dude. It's like, okay, this is why you're not growing. This is why you're in the same spot now. This is why in the past nothing's worked, because this mentality right here. Get rid of that shit. And I genuinely got mad at myself. I clenched my jaw and I was like, oh my fuck, dude, here we go. Just pissed at myself, dude, because it's like me versus me. And the weak me is looking at strong me, like Andy Frisella says, boss voice and bitch voice. My bitch voice is screaming, and my boss voice is like, dude, shut the fuck goddamn up. You know? Oh, man, I'd go straight to hell if my grandma heard me say what I just said, huh? Or my mom. Love you, Mom. Love you, Grandma. You don't listen to the show, though. Say too many bad words. Love you, though. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Also, I do want to point something out. So, yeah, I'm gonna summarize this real quick. So, in the upcoming week, I'm probably going to invest in a mentor because I believe it is a necessary step if I want to see success sooner than later and have the proper guidance along the way. And in doing so, I looked... Oh, here's another thing. Yeah, so this is vulnerable shit. Nobody shares stuff like this. because they're too embarrassed. But I don't give a fuck. I live and learn. I got different ideas. So I have 11 credit cards, and I have a total limit of 17 grand. So I would say it should be higher. But the reason why I have 11 is because I've always believed that it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And so when I was going through rough times, I was like, dude, I don't have any money. I don't even have a credit card. So when I was in good times, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to apply for 3 credit cards now, get 3 grand. And if I need it in the future, I'll be all right. And yeah, it took a shit on my credit score. But dude, and this is controversial. This is big dreamer. This is whatever you want to call it. But I have so much faith in my abilities and so much confidence that a credit score will mean nothing to me within the next decade. I couldn't give a fuck what that number, that 3 little number that some other agency gives me based on my spending and how I allocate my funds that I worked my ass off for. You know, the fact, I was talking with my cousin about this today at work, the fact that my credit score is affected by my desire to know how good my credit score is, the fact that it gets lower by my inquiry to know how good I'm doing, the fact that it gets lower, it's like, hey, I actually want to, I want to see, what did I say earlier? I want to drive my car, but I actually got to pay. I actually got to get new tires to do that. So we're gonna have to take some new tire. But it's like, no, I just want to check. I just want to drive my car. Like, oh yeah, you want to check it out? You want to check out the car? Well, you're gonna have to pay to look at that. I can't remember what I said earlier, but it was fucking on point. What I just said right there, horrible analogy. That was horrible. What did I say earlier? Oh, that's what I said. I said it's like having to pay $20 to check your bank account balance. It's the same fucking thing. I want to check my credit score. Oh, it's going to cost you 10 points. Cool, man. So how does that affect my spending? Because a credit score is a direct reflection of your spending and your responsibility toward finance. How does me wanting to know what my goddamn score is? Oh, dude, I hate shit like this. Make it make sense to me. If it can make sense to me, we're good. But anyway, I have 11 credit cards, a total amount of 17 grand. Total available is 12 grand, so I've only used 5 grand. I say only. What is that? About 30%. But yeah, so over the years, I've just accumulated these, and now I've got these. So I pulled all these up, got them all organized. So I laid them all out. So it's the credit card name, the payment date, payment amount, how much money I owe as of today, the credit limit, and the available credit. And you know me, this is all in Excel. It's all calculated. It's all got the formulas linked. It's all automated. It's pretty cool. And half the time, man, I don't know if Excel saves me time or if it wastes time because I try to make everything so fast. I mean, if you could, I'll take a screenshot. I'm going to take a photo right now. Because whenever this gets posted, it'll get posted. I don't give a fuck. What's somebody going to do with this information? Oh, you got 11 credit cards? Well, I'm going to be a multimillionaire in a decade, dude, so I don't have to tell you. Like, I'm going to have all these canceled anyway. Fucking credit score, dude. The point of all right, that's okay. We're going to leave that out. But anyway, so I've got, hold on, I'm going to turn the light on. Shut my blinds down because now the whole world can see my ass. All right. So, yeah, 11. Okay, I keep repeating myself. So I've got 11 cards. Reason why I laid it all out to calculate all this stuff is to figure out how much money I have right now if I wanted to invest into bettering myself. Because again, Alex Hormozi says with every last penny that he had, he lived as cheaply as he could, and all that money went into education to further his knowledge to get ahead of the game quicker. He just went all the education. That's what he did. And look at him now. He's 36 years old. I would be surprised if he wasn't a billionaire by now. And he's uber successful. And so smart. And that's what he did. So there's probably something to it. So why am I not doing that? I was thinking about that too. But anyway, 11 cards, 17 grand total. Got 12 grand available. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I have technically 12 grand to invest into my education. And if I can do that, I'm selling myself right now, dude. I love having this fucking show, man, because it clears up so much for me. Very cool. So yeah, got 12 grand, $12,502 available as of today, to invest into education. And if that education can, think about this. The next 6 months, if I don't make $1, I get my $500 times 6 months back of $3,000. So I'll get $3,000 back. So there's no loss. I gain access to all this information. That's a dumbass thing to say no to, dude. I'll tell you what. So, yeah, I get so distracted. Anyway, I pulled all this up, and I say all this because this is just where I'm at. And again, this is a documentation show. So I'm going to share all the numbers. I'm going to share all the personal details because nobody else will. People are so fucking shy to talk about their credit cards and how much they have and whatever. How about who gives a fuck, dude? How about have goals so big you don't even need a credit score? How about that, dude? How about have goals so big that you don't invest into your retirement because you believe in yourself wholeheartedly that all that money is going to be all the money that I could be having now to invest in my own shit, my education, and whatever, rather than putting that into some fund or investment that I'm not going to see for the next 40 years and have that be $2 million. I could, within the next 5 years, I can make $2 million. That's just how much I believe in what I'm doing. Call it delusion. Call it, you wouldn't call it this, but call it narcissism. Call it whatever you want to call it. I don't know, delusional? I don't know. It's the only word I can think of. Call it whatever, dude. Call it tomatoes. I don't give a fuck. You'll see, bro. You'll see. It's October 2nd, Wednesday, 7:45 p.m., 2024. You'll fucking see. So we've got, I don't know what to say without repeating myself. But yeah, so I was looking at the numbers. So I got $12,000. I was like, okay, well, $500 a month. This gives me 2 years in the program. And there's no goddamn way that in 2 years I don't make $1. And there's no goddamn way in 2 full years of having this level of guidance and mentorship that I don't make at least that much money back. You know, if I don't make at least $500 a month for the next 2 years consistently from when the program launches, what am I doing wrong? You know? So also I can pay in full $5,000 for the program. Yeah, I could do that right now, actually. I got $12,000 of it. I got $12,000 that I can in credit cards that I could just put. And I think this is where people get scared and they back out because they don't see the value. They don't believe in themselves to do this. I'm trying to think of an analogy here. If I said, hey, I don't know. If I said, hey, you gotta buy this car. It's $100,000. All you have to do is drive it 100,000 miles this year. That might be like, oh shit, like that's a lot. But like, yeah, so you go 100,000 miles in 1 year, and you probably get your calculator out, and you probably be like, okay, well, I'm gonna do that right now. So 100,000 miles divided by 365. So I got to drive 273 miles a day. Okay, well, if I'm going 60 miles an hour, then that's 4.5 hours of driving a day. I can do that. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Easy. So if you spend $100,000 or whatever, you get the car, and if you don't drive the miles, you don't get the money. If you do, then you get, I don't know, 10 or whatever the hell it is. Because you can measure it and you can see that it's attainable and you know that you can, it's a numbers game. I think I would say that everybody would go for it. They would try to find out they would probably go out of their way to try to get $100,000 or whatever the number is. I mean, it's probably unrealistic, but what I'm trying to make is if somebody made you an offer like that, you'd probably do everything you could to make it happen because you can see that it's attainable for you. You measured it out. You know what you have to do every single day. And as long as you do that every single day, you will reach that goal. You will reach the 100,000 miles for the year to get your $100 million, whatever the fuck it is. But because you can't see that, and you can't even see the week ahead of how much you're going to make or how much you need to do or what's required now versus what's required then based on the skills you have now for the skills that you will have then, there's no clear-cut answer. There's no, yeah, it's this. Yeah, you just, whatever. Yeah, make 5 calls today, make 1 post per day, and then, yeah, so you'd be a 100 millionaire in the next year. There's no clear-cut answer like that, and I think that's why people get scared and back out. But that's because they don't believe in themselves or they don't see the value in what they're purchasing or they don't think that it's for them, or they don't think it's possible, or whatever. And I'm part of this. So I'm not saying like, oh, other people. Like, this has been me 3 times. But now, again, with a different mentality, different head on my shoulders here, I think I just sold myself on the whole program. So we'll see what's to come in the next week or 2 weeks. But what's really cool and what kind of gets me excited is I'm not going to tell Brian. So if I join the program, I'm not going to tell him that I was a past client and that I failed and I dropped out and I was a bitch until I make whatever. I don't know. I sign 100 clients. I'll be like, hey, dude, by the way, also joined the program 3 years ago, but I dropped out because I was this, that, and the other. And now look. So here's proof that it's the right mentality. So here's a very unique testimonial for you, sir. So that's something that I think about. It's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's the credit card shit. That's the coaching, mentor, mastermind shit. Yeah, man. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, I don't know. I just different views, man. And I could talk about this stuff all day long, but it's like society has certain views because in the school system or because in society in general, we have these systems and thought processes or whatever of how to think, how to do this, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And people follow that blindly. It's like, dude, why? Yeah, if I have 11 credit cards, my credit's going to drop. I get that. But why do I want credit? For me, I don't want to buy a house. That's not a desire for me. I don't really want to buy a new car and have this and that and the other right now. Not a desire for me. And by the time I do, I know that I will be successful and that my financial health will be incredible. So credit scores and shit like that are just something I don't need to worry about. And I'm not saying to tank that shit and put it into 300s, but it doesn't need to be 800. And by the way, I know one person that has an 800 credit score. I'm not going to say their name, but fucking badass. You know who you are. You're listening. I know you are. Badass. But for what I'm doing, my goals, I don't need 800. I don't need 700. I think 600 is probably what I need. My credit score is like 6 something. There you go. There's some more shit nobody's going to talk about. And I don't give a fuck, dude, because I don't use my credit score for goddamn shit. Well, Bryson, you might, because what if you need this and you can't get approved for what, and then this and that and the other. Well, dude, guess what? I guess I'll figure it out when that happens. But until then, it's not a problem. So eat my fat fucking chair, all right? But yeah, I don't want to buy a house. It's not a goal. I don't know, man. I got different views. I don't want to buy a house because that means I got to hire people to mow the lawn, and I got to hire people to fix the shit and paint this and do that because I'm not spending the time to do that shit, bro. My time's worth a shit ton more than $70 an hour or $80 an hour or however much fuckers cost. If I can just pay someone to do it for me, dude, I will. I mean, that's why I pay for people to cook food for me right now. So I would just like my time for myself to do the things that I want to do that are going to yield a much greater return on investment years down the road. So with a credit score, dude, let's do this. Let's get some chat GPT going. I'm 27. Why do I need a good credit score? Let's see what it tells me. Having a good credit score is 20, so lower interest rates. A good credit score allows you to qualify for loans, credit cards, and other forms of credit with lower interest rates, saving a lot of money over time, whether it's mortgage, car loan, or personal loan. See, I read this shit and I'm like, yeah, so it's going to save me $6,000 over the next 5 years. I can make $6,000 this month and just void that entire interest rate problem altogether. And I say that with the confidence that I can make this happen. So that's void. Better loan or mortgage options. When you're ready to buy a home or a car, neither. Don't want either of those things. My car's fine. I love a new car. I'd love a new place. Not saying I wouldn't. But for the things that come with that, I'll pass. All right. A good credit score gives you access to better loan options. Okay, well, what if I'm paying in full? I don't need a loan. So this is void. Higher credit limits. Okay, well, if I'm fucking stacked, I don't need credit limits. I bring in $50,000 a month. I'm good. Okay, so there goes that. Better insurance rates. Many insurance companies check your credit when determining premiums, especially for auto and homeowners insurance. Well, my shit fluctuates between $80 and $120, and I'm not going to cry over $40 a month between 3 different things. I'm not going to cry over $100 a month if I'm bringing in $20,000 a month. I don't know. I just, there's a line. I'm not even close to crossing it. So employment opportunity. Oh yeah. Okay. So entrepreneur pass. Rental approval. Landlords often run credit checks before approving rental applications. A good score shows that you're responsible with payments, making it easier to rent a place. Okay. So that's fair because I'm renting. I need a place to live. So I'll give it to the AI here, rental approval. However, I'm already in a place. So if I want to stay here forever, I'm good because I'm here and I'm paying. So lower deposits for utilities and services. I have never paid a deposit for utilities ever in my life once. So I don't know what this is. Financial independence. A strong credit score gives you more financial autonomy. You can access credit when needed, get better terms, and avoid relying on cosigners, signers, or you could just be rich as fuck and make 50 grand a month. I don't know, dude. So the credit score was not built for people. I mean, to put it very bluntly, it's not meant for rich people. Because if you're rich, you can pay everything in full. Credit score allows you to get better rates and negotiate better terms, pay less over time, get approved for things. But if you're paying everything in full, you're good. So that's my 2 cents on a credit score. If you go ask anybody in America why a credit score is nice, they'll tell you probably all these things. And that's fine. And for somebody who's just trying to work their 9 to 5, make their 80 grand a year or whatever, I'm sure that this is excellent. But for where my goals are in life, I don't see this being a problem. To want to be concerned about my credit score right now, but then also have the goals that I have of making $20,000 a month within the year, I just don't feel like that's just really, it's like following a program that's going to help me gain 2 pounds of muscle this year when my goal is to be Mr. Olympia this year. It's like, yeah, I guess that's a good program. However, I'm headed this way, and I'm pointing toward my wall here. I'm headed this way. That program just doesn't apply because I need this. So I'm going to follow this path. But that path is not what we're ever taught, what we're ever informed to do. It's the risky path. It's the crazy path. It's the dreamer's path. Only these people go here. Fuck, anybody can go there. But just some controversial takes. I know they are. I mean, shit, I'm anti-retirement. I don't want to ever retire because retiring would mean that I quit working, right? So if I quit working, I probably won't have the drive to get up and do the shit that I want to do every day because the things that get me out of bed in the morning is this shit. So if I retire traditionally and I don't have these things to work on and I just wake up and I have a bank full of $2 million and I can go golfing or whatever, I wouldn't be having it. So anti-retirement, I like to work. Anti-credit score, I don't know if anti is the right word, but like I don't see the value in that shit given where I'm headed. Do you think, here's an extreme example to paint the picture because I think extremes do a very good job of that. Do you think Jeff Bezos wakes up and looks at Credit Karma and he's like, oh, dude, credit score is only 520. God damn it, dude. What am I going to do? Nope. He doesn't give a dude. I'd love to interview these guys, but hey, when's the last time you checked your credit score? He'd be like, oh, dude, 30 years ago. You know? For real, though. Think about that. They don't give a fuck. They don't need it. Why don't they need it? Because they're fine. They're well off. They made it out of the system. Before I go too deep down the rabbit hole of shit, I'm going to end it there. Did not mean for the show to be an hour long, but it is what it is. So again, it's October 2nd, 2024, 7:58 p.m. It's Wednesday, and I'm out. So talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out.